The first time I had darshan of Srila Gurudev was in here in Vrindavan at the ISKCON Krishna Balaram temple, 91. I just took Harinam from Srila Gurudeva Maharaj, Ram Navami, and I'd been to England, got a visa, come back, and Srila Gurudeva Maharaj went travelling. And I asked him if I could go to Vrindavan. I'd never been. So I came here for maybe just 4 or 5 days. I was on this parikram. It was Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's disappearance day. And I was at Barshana with some ISKCON sannyasis, and they asked me to carry some video equipment back to the temple. So when we arrived at the temple, I carried this bag and I was forced to the front, and as they were assembling the video equipment behind me, Srila Gurudev came with his disciples, and I still remember to this day that nobody was wearing saffron, everybody was wearing white like grihastas, and Gurudev was very serene, very beautiful. I remember being captivated just staring at him. But like all Vaishnavas, it was when he began to speak that my heart began racing, because he began to chant invocation prayers, those beautiful prayers he chants to Srimati Radhika, and also prayers to Mahaprabhu. Ajanulambito bhajo ganaga vadato, like this he was chanting. And I was surprised, my goodness, who is this? And I was looking around to everybody was just sleeping. So they don't know. How come nobody can understand this? But he was just, the sound vibration was so much exciting. It was exciting me so much, like listening to my Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudeva Maharaj. So he spoke, and he spoke in Hindi, but I remember this, what he spoke was later quoted by Srila Gurudeva Maharaj, where Gurudev was saying, he was glorifying ISKCON and how they were distributing Krishna's name and Krishna around the world. Especially they were distributing so many books. And he was appreciating this very much, but he gave one caveat, one thing. He said, but if you don't read those books and you don't imbibe the moods of Krishna consciousness, then it will be like Kama Mishra Bhakti. So later, my Guru Maharaj, Srila Guru Maharaj, quoted, there was a GBC thing where they used to change the words, and he says that Srila Narayana Maharaj says that book distribution is Kama Mishra Bhakti. Not like Kama Mishra Bhakti, but it is Kama Mishra Bhakti. So he said, this is not our mood is Gosti Nandi. We are preachers in the line of Bhaktivinod Dara. So in all these things you have to resolve the difference between Shiksha and Diksha is one of the things that I had to understand. And I remember when Guru Maharaj said that to me, he turned to me directly and said, but Gosti Nandi, Bhajana Nandi, destination is the same. Like the mood is the same. So it's one of the things that when I came to Gurudev, after Srila Gurudeva Maharaj left in 91, I had to reconcile. So I think this is a really important point maybe for devotees now, that we have to reconcile what we've heard about Srila Gurudev, what we read from Srila Gurudev and everything, with what is happening now. Srila Gurudeva Maharaj was not the same as Srila Prabhupada. Those who are disciples of Srila Prabhupada, who came to Srila Gurudeva Maharaj, they had to make many adjustments, and they had to see something different. So, and those who came from Srila Gurudeva Maharaj to Srila Narayana Maharaj also, everybody who comes from one guru to another, taking shiksha, there has to be some reconciliation. I think that's really important now, because it's very important that we follow it by mood, but not by our own vision, isn't it? That Srila Gurudeva Maharaj was saying that Srila Narayana Maharaj is a Bhajananandi. But then when I came to meet Gurudev, when I was with Gurudev, the first time I saw him, he was preaching to 15,000 Bengalis. Next time I saw him, he was preaching to thousands of devotees in Delhi. Next time I saw him, he was in Los Angeles. And he was traveling all around the world. And then when I came to see him in Mathura, he was living on the busiest street in the noisiest mart. And his door was open 18 hours a day, and everybody was coming, and he was talking and preaching and never stopped talking and giving. This is not Bhajananandi. So is my Guru Maharaj wrong, or what's happening? So I won't tell that story, long story, but I had to reconcile. And there's a very good reconciliation. You have to see at that point to whom he was talking, who were those people, what was the situation going on. Many things were there. And because I was there and I saw his facial expression, I heard his tone of his voice, I saw who he was speaking, I knew the whole situation, it was very easy for me to reconcile. But if I took that conversation in isolation, I could prove anything, but it wouldn't be bona fide.
Jai Srila Gurudev. So I came to Krishna consciousness through martial arts with my best friend Krishna Mai in Los Angeles. And our teacher's name was Shivananda Senadas. And he was taking us to the ISKCON temple every Sunday. And we were at the Kirtan, and then the Prabhupada festival. We were there, and we were ready to go home. We were looking for Shiva, but we couldn't find him anywhere. So in the meantime, as we're searching for him, some devotee comes up to us. And she said, "Oh, girls, can you come to my apartment for a minute?" And when you're new, you think everyone's a pure devotee, so we're like, okay. And we're like saying to each other, why does she want us to come to her apartment? But we said yes. So we go to her apartment, and she said, "I never do this." She said, "But I feel like my Gurudev is telling me to tell you that he's coming tomorrow." And we were just like, okay. And then she opened a drawer, and she pulls out this flyer. She says, "It's the only flyer I have, so can you copy down the address? And please come, you have to come. He's telling me you have to come." And we were like, okay. And we were kind of really nervous. Like, why didn't she just tell us on the street, So, and we were taking music lessons from a Prabhupada disciple, Bengali Prabhupada disciple. And the next day came, and we were like, should we go to the music lesson, or should we go see this guru? And then we said, let's go to our music lesson. So we went to our music lesson, and when we got there, our teacher's son said, "Oh, my father went to go see Srila Narayana Maharaj." And we were like, oh, if he went, we gotta go. So we sped over there, and we were kind of nervous because we didn't know why she told us in her apartment, and we were just like, so we go, and we get there, and we go in, and it was like Kirtan was still going on, and we saw Gurudev on the Vyasasan, and both of us it was like love at first sight. It was so beautiful, and we saw the altar, and we were like, it's the same. Like Didi Thakurji was there, Prabhupada Murti was there, like everything was the same. They were singing the same mantra. And so it was in Shingadev's appearance date. It was the first time I had ever heard the pastime. And so Gurudev, the sannyasis would always do this drama, like spontaneous drama. So Ashram Maharaj starts to say, stop this chanting. And then I freaked out. I was like, what's going on? I thought it was real. And it was amazing katha. And Gurudev called on Shamrani Didi to speak, which in my 1 year in ISKCON, I kept asking if I could hear from a female, because I wanted to hear a female perspective. And they kind of roundabout way said no, and like maybe you can come to the Gurukul or come to a Prabhupada disciple's house, but they never allow women to speak in the temple there. So that was really enlivening for me as well. And so that was our first meeting with Gurudev and Nishingadev's day in 2000. And then Gurudev would travel around the world twice a year. And the next year he came back to California where we're from. And that night, Shivananda, our teacher, didn't come. Our martial arts teacher didn't come. It's just Krishnamai and I met him, and we were so excited. And so the next year when Gurudev came back, we all received initiation from him in San Diego. And then Shivananda was a martial arts teacher. And one time in Badger, all the boys would wrestle, and then they would always ask Shiva, come wrestle, and he would say no, because he's professional and didn't want to get involved with the boys playing. But anyways, one time they precoced him so much that he did, and Maharaja saw, and then Maharaja went back and told Gurudev that Shivananda is a master wrestler. So when Gurudev came out, he said, why didn't you tell me? And Shiva was like playing it down, but she's like a trained killer, like all these black belts. But he's like, no, I'm not good. And he said, show me something. So he went and got Krishnamai, who's an amazing, we're both doing martial arts, but Krishnamai is an amazing martial artist. And she was wearing sari, and he said, come. She was like, Gurudev wants to see something, throw me around. So she was doing like these beautiful, we would do every art, because Shiva feels you have to know how to do it. If someone takes you to the ground, you have to know what to do on the ground. So Krishnamai was doing these really beautiful takedowns, and Shiva was making them look even like more large. He can flip in the air and roll, and Gurudev was so happy, smiling and clapping, and then he told Shiva, always be by my side, like Hanuman. So the Shiva got that service. Every festival he was at, he'd be the guard at the door. So that was really fun for us. We're like, our family. So then one year, like the next year after initiation, we were in LA and Shiva was at the door, and we went to bring him his prasadam. It was like 2 PM, and we were whispering. We were told, we knew it was quiet time, like it's supposed to be now, and we were whispering, and then all of a sudden the door opens, and we look up, and it was Gurudev, and he was just checking out like what was going on at his door, and I feel like I did so this thing was like a 180 turn in the air, and like he put my head at Gurudev's feet, and then Gurudev was just smiling, and then he said to Krishnamai, oh, he is teaching you this? And she was like, yes, Gurudev, and he was really happy. And then he said to me, just out of the blue, and I was also doing martial arts, but then he said to me, read all my books and you'll be eligible to preach all over the world. And so that was after 1 year of knowing him, so that was amazing. And then I'm not preaching all over the world, but I'm, holding on to Shamrani's coattails, who is preaching all over the world. So that was beautiful. And then the next year, I got to start traveling with Shamrani. So that was Gurudev's amazing, and his such a sankalpa, whatever he says comes true.
One time, one devotee, he told me his story, how he came to Gurudev. He had been in ISKCON for a long time. And then after his Gurudev fell down, excuse me, he moved out and he started doing some jobs and things. Then at that time, there was some discussion going on in ISKCON about how Gurudev, Prabhupada, he had made mistakes. He was pure devotee, okay, but still he made many mistakes. And they had some discussion there on their internet forum. And this devotee, he was not so much popular or senior or something, but he did not like that. And so he wrote, practically the only one on that forum, defending Prabhupada, giving some quotes from Shastra, how devotee does not have any faults, like that. And he got very strong opposition. But still he wrote. And then, very soon after, just next to his village, Gurudev came there, into that place. He became invited, and then he got to see Srila Gurudeva there. And later on he understood that this was because of he had done something to try to defend Srila Prabhupada, and because of that he got the mercy of association of Srila Gurudeva. Also we had one couple in Germany, they had one temple before in ISKCON, and they are not like what you would call strict devotees according to our standard. They are quite unorthodox. But when before in Germany, Govinda Maharaj, he was banned by the GBC, and he was not allowed to travel anywhere in that zone. But they didn't care about that GBC instruction. They invited Srila Gurudeva Maharaj to their temple in their place. And they got big problems because of that, but still they did, because they don't like authority. That's it. But then as a result of that, few days later, then when Gurudev came to Berlin first time, actually he stayed in their flat, and they had his direct association and like that, just because they had done this service for Srila Gurudeva Maharaj. So as I did this devotee, he came to Gurudev, but at that time the ISKCON, they had made so much propaganda against Gurudev, so he was a little careful. He decided, okay, I will not be too much into it, I will stay a little in the back. Then Gurudev was giving class, and he stayed in the back. When Gurudev, he was giving very attractive Harikatha, it was very sweet. And he liked to listen more, but he could not understand so clearly. So gradually he moved a little closer. Yeah? So but still he couldn't hear so good. And he moved a little more closer. Then what was the end of the class, he said very close, okay, you can listen. That's the Harikatha with big ears. This was nice. And after that, when Gurudev went outside, after class, then he was thinking, actually that's nice sadhu. So I should pay my respect somehow. So he was standing in one corner, and he was not bowing down, but he was just doing like that. So at that time, Gurudev was turning around to him, and also doing like that to him, and walking out, He had not seen him or anything, but that he just turned around and paid his obeisance also. And he was looking, wow, that was something remarkable. And then like 1 year later, that devotee, he took initiation from Gurudev. He came to one program in Holland, and he came to Gurudev's class, and he was also staying in the back. That time he prayed, he described it to me, he was praying in his heart, he was praying, Gurudev, I have some faith that you are pure devotee. Please, I want to become maid servant of Radha Krishna. Please help me. That's fine. Then, so at that time, he said, he could feel, in Gurudev, he was sitting there on the sun, and he was looking towards him, and he was coming directly into his heart. He could feel like that then. And he understood. Now he is chatting. Do you really want it or not? Then he became a little scared, and he understood that actually I don't really want it. So he became shy. And just that one moment after, then Gurudev, he said very loud, you, come here to the front. And he understood the Gurudev, he means me. But he was too scared to say, And then everyone around him were pointing fingers, whom Gurudev means, this one and that one. But he was very new, no one knew him. So they did not point at him. Then Gurudev, he just said after some time, okay, any devotees who are senior or Prabhupada disciples, they should come and sit in front. Like that. Then when it was time for him to take initiation, then he went into Gurudev's room for initiation, and somehow he happened to go in first. And again he wanted to sit in the back. Then Gurudev called him, come here. Then he went like Gurudev was here, then he came like here. Then Gurudev told him, come on here. And he went like here, and then Gurudev said, come on here. And then he said like here, like that. And that time Gurudev, he was unknotting some japamalas and counting beads like that. Then this devotee, he was thinking why he has to do this. He is guru. Then I could also do this. Then Gurudev looked at him, and he took this and put it in his hand. But I gave to him to do. And before that, when he had asked Gurudev, would you give me initiation? Would you give me Diksha? And Gurudev had told him, I will give you Diksha after 3 years, not before. although he had been in ISKCON for a long time, like many years. But Gurudev told him, after 2 years, I will give you Diksha. So he went in for Harinam. Then after Harinam initiation, he was going to go out. And then Prajnath Prabhu was asking, he is not taking Diksha. So then Madhav Maharaj said, no, he has not shaved. He had not shaved because Gurudev had told him, I will give you Diksha after 3 years. And also he was doing any job, so he thought no need to shave. So Madhav said, no need to shave for you. And then his wife, she was also there. Then she stood up and she said, but if he will not take Diksha, I can also not take Diksha. So it was very funny. Then Gurudev was looking. And Gurudev said, okay, sit down. Taking Diksha, but you have to shave. Then he shaved down.
When I just came in the beginning to devotees, they were like already Gurudev's disciples. Especially I came first to Annapurna and Devaki, Russian devotees. And so they introduced me somehow with Gurudev, and they told me one very interesting thing. They said, oh, you know, just when we became Gurudeva's disciples, before 2 years we were in ISKCON, but then we met Gurudev. But they have also one friend, one girl, who is just an ordinary girl, but she's psychic. She got this from this special mystic power from her childhood. She doesn't use it like as business or whatever. She even sometimes trying to hide it. But sometimes he helps with that to other people who are asking for help. So the girls, Annapurna and Devaki, they decided, oh, let's try. We'll see what she will tell, because what's her power? She puts her hand on top of any photo of any person, and then just information coming. She doesn't know any, she may know, of course, mostly she doesn't know these people. So they had photos of few gurus of ISKCON and got new photos of Gurudeva. So they put first ISKCON gurus, some few photos, and in the very end Gurudev's photo. So then told her, okay, you try, you say what you feel like. She started doing, and then she was like this. Oh, this man, she didn't know this word, even guru. They didn't say her that who are they, guru, whatever, just photos. She said, oh, this man, this and that. Second man, oh, he likes followers very much. He's very greedy for money, for property, name and fame, like this. Second one, oh, this man is with one hand in this world, another one already in another world, like more, like spiritual. She was telling like this. Hardly herself, she didn't know these things, but she was just saying, speaking out. Then like this, then in the end, Gurudev's photo was there. And they Annapurna and Devaki, they told that she kind of more, she was holding her hand more time. She became grave very much. Like for a while she was silent, and then she started saying, oh, she told, this person is immortal. She said, he is immortal. She said, he is everywhere. He is everywhere. He is beyond of time, space. And she said, he is keeping his hand on black hole. She didn't say what is this black hole. She just said this. We can interpret how we can. And she said, he is saving. He came to save the souls. They are he is bringing souls to God. And first thing what she said, he is not from this world. He came to this world from somewhere, she said. Oh my God, it gave me a very much impression. You know, even ordinary people, they can perceive this Gurudev's glory, Gurudev's real nature. So we should never, Gurudev's disciples should never think that Gurudev has left, died, disappeared or whatever. This absolute false information. even for these psychic people, they can see, they can perceive. Why should we become so hopeless and frustrated about this point? Gurudev is immortal, completely available at every moment. We should